Now your NBC10 First Alert weather.
I'm First Alert Meteorologist Brittney Shipp. We not only have a first alert in effect, but we also have a tornado watch almost for the entire area until 7 p.m. So what that means is a tornado may occur. Know your safe area. Avoid outdoors. Make sure you alert family and friends. Maybe they're away from the TV. They aren't listening to the radio. We definitely have a lot of severe weather throughout our area. So everywhere highlighted in yellow, that is the area that is under the tornado watch until 7 o'clock. So you can see that affects Philadelphia down towards Cape May, the entire part of Delaware here. And we want to zoom you in, although this is just right outside of Delaware, right outside of our area. There is a tornado warning for this particular area, and that's going to stay in effect until 3:15. So it is possible some of these severe storms can track to the north and to the east here, crossing over into the northern part of Delaware. So we're going to be watching that really closely for you. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning area here until 3:30, and that basically affects Westchester out towards Coatesville, and you're already noticing a lot of thunderstorms here firing up. So we are going to be watching this closely. These are producing wind gusts closer to 40 miles per hour. And also we could see damaging winds just associated with these storms alone. Heavy downpours decreasing your visibility. So if you know anyone driving specifically in these areas, the northern parts here of Delaware, a lot of our suburbs to the north and west of Philadelphia, that's where we're seeing the severe storms. And just a reminder, almost the entire area besides the Lehigh Valley is under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. We'll have more details coming up at 4 o'clock, but right now we return you to Ellen.
Now your NBC10 First Alert weather.
I'm First Alert Meteorologist Brittney Shipp. We have a tornado warning in parts of Kent County and possibly a radar confirmed tornado on the ground. So if you live in Kent County, let's get to zooming in here and we'll show you exactly what's happening right now. You can see this is the tornado warning. You can see the cell is right here just outside of Hartley and Peters Corner. So this is where we are seeing this tornado warning currently. We're going to switch you over here and try and pull up the velocity here so we can show you exactly what is happening here. So let's get you straight to it. This is what we are going to be watching for you. And so if you live in this area, you really need to take cover here. So as we go through the rest of tonight, we have a tornado watch that's going to be staying in effect until 7 p.m. And so we're going to switch you over now and show you exactly what we are seeing here. We're going to put this in play here. And if we wind out the picture, there's the tornado warning. This is the cell that we are tracking for you. And so there you can see it coming out of Peters Corner. This is tracking here to the east, and you can see right outside of Hartley. And with this tornado warning, you need to be very, very careful here. So let's get a little bit closer here and show you just outside of Downs Chapel, Hartley. And this is tracking to the basically to the east and the northeast. So we're going to go ahead and put this right now in play, and you can see why they have this tornado that is now confirmed here. So Downs Chapel down towards Hartley. And again, this is all tracking here to the northeast. So let's go ahead and show you where that is. We're going to zoom in. We want you to be very careful here. So Everett's Corner, Downs Chapel, Ford's Corner, Wright's Crossroads. We're going to see this tornado warning extended. It's now been extended to include parts of Dover. So let's go ahead and track this so everyone can make sure they are taking cover and being very careful. You want to go ahead and find your safe space. This is all tracking to the east here. So these are going to be the areas that we're going to be watching next. Payton Corner, Seven Hickories, Bush Manor, Dover, Clayton. This entire cell is tracking to the east at this time. And so here are the areas that you want to be careful. If you are closer to Smyrna, 335, Beach Haven, Cheswold, Bush Manor, 340. So we're going to switch you over and show you on this velocity. What we're basically looking for with velocity is coupling. So we want to see the red and we want to see the green coupled together, and that gives us an indication that there is going to be rotation. So we want anyone in these particular areas, Hartley, Seanytown, Cheswold, Chestnut Grove, Bethesda, Payton Corner, Chestnut Grove, out towards Dover. You want to be very careful in these areas right now. We have a tornado warning. We have a radar indicated tornado. That is going to be a very dangerous situation. You want to get to the lowest point in your home. You want to make sure you're staying away from all windows right now. And so as we are tracking this, you can see here, let's turn on the lightning as well. So that also helps us indicate where these tornadoes are. We're looking for rotation. So again, Downs Chapel, Hartley, this is where we are focusing all of our information right now. We want to make sure, again, everyone is staying safe. We will continue to bring you updates here on this tornado warning. It's a radar confirmed tornado. This tornado was produced over Goldsboro, 14 miles west of Dover. It's moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. The possibilities are going to be for flying debris. It's going to be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. So again, just to repeat, there has been a tornado that's confirmed. So you want to take cover now, move to a basement, our interior room, the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Make sure you are avoiding all of your windows here. So let's make sure we are tracking this for you. Again, this is located about 14 miles west of Dover near Goldsboro. So we're going to widen out this picture here and just show you that this is what we are going to be seeing for the rest of tonight, especially for the central parts of Delaware. So it is going to be this entire area that's under this pink shaded color. This is where the tornado warning is. So this is going to be just outside of Dover. If you live closer to Dover, Little Creek, now under a severe thunderstorm warning. This is all moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So you, again, want to be very careful if you live in any of the neighborhoods I just named off. So if you're anywhere near Dover, Goldsboro, you want to get to the lowest level in your home. You want to move away from all of your windows. Damage is going to be likely with this system. We're seeing flying debris. We also have the possibility of moving away from all of the windows, roofs, vehicles. Damage is all going to be a possibility for those particular areas. So again, we have a tornado warning that has now been confirmed that we have a tornado producing a storm over Goldsboro, 14 miles west of Dover. So let me go ahead and switch you over here on our radar. We want to show you exactly where that is. We're going to take away the warning for you so you can see clearly where we are dealing with this particular storm. So let's go ahead and put this in motion for you. We'll press play. And we just want to show you where this tornado is. Widen out the picture. We have more that is going to be affecting us as well. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for most of the area. And this is going to stay in effect until about 7 p.m. So let's take you back out. So this is a situation that we're watching closely for. You can see the severe storms here. This is going to be outside of Kenton is dealing with heavy downpours. Same thing for Chapel, Downs Chapel, Hartley, Bethesda, Chestnut Grove, Dover, all under this severe thunderstorm warning. And then also right here, this tornado warning that we have been looking and watching for you. So please be very careful if you live in this area. If you are under this area highlighted here in pink, this includes, again, this stretches from Marydale all the way up towards Black Kensington, Downs Chapel, Kenton, Cheswold, Chestnut Grove, all under a tornado warning at this time. So we're going to be sticking with this. We're going to make sure you are staying updated. Just a reminder for you, when we have a tornado watch and a tornado warning, what you need to do as soon as the warning hits is that means a tornado is occurring. We've already been telling you that. You need to act now. You need to seek shelter. Make sure you're getting to the lowest level of your basement or the lowest level of your house. So this is going to be something that we'll be watching for the next couple of hours. This is going to be a dangerous situation, especially if you live in the central portions of Delaware. So specifically just outside of Dover, this is what we're watching for. You can see the severe thunderstorms have popped up, and now we do have, let's get a little closer to Kenton. We're seeing another area with heavier downpours, strong wind gusts, and also the potential for rotation. And so what we're watching is what we're looking for when we turn on your velocity is we're looking for the coupling of red and green here, and that's going to show us if we have any rotation on the ground. So we've been talking about this throughout the last couple of minutes, and we're looking for a little bit of the rotation that we expect to see. We also have our tornado tracker that we can look at, and it also explains to us what we're seeing. And this is, again, tracking to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So this is, again, an unfolding breaking news situation. This is a dangerous situation. And as we switch you over to our velocity, we want to keep showing you where we see these tornadoes. So again, the tornado producing storm is located near Goldsboro, and that's just 14 miles west of Dover in Delaware. And so this is a situation, again, that we are watching closely for you. You want to be careful. You want to have your game plan ready to go. You probably want to turn up your television so you can listen to what we're saying. So if you live outside of Dover, if you're closer to Goldsboro, you want to make sure you are turning up your TV. You are being very careful here. We're watching this entire area just to make sure there's not another tornado that does pop up. We're watching to see where it heads next. But as you can see, this area from Payton Corner out towards Dover, Cheswold, Marydale, all under a tornado warning. This is going to stay in effect for us at least until, we're going to query this right now. This stays into effect until 3:45 p.m. It is possible that this could get extended because if we widen out the picture here, you can see that there's more area, especially towards Delaware, the northern parts of Delaware, that's under this severe thunderstorm. And it's not just parts of Delaware. It's actually going to be up towards Philadelphia, some of our suburbs to the north and also to the west that are under this severe thunderstorm warning. So we have this whole area that's also under a tornado watch. So these are the areas, again, that we are going to be looking for you and watching. And the most important area right now, we're going to zoom in and I'll show you. The light yellow is the tornado watch for the entire area. We're also looking to see if there's a hook echo where we can identify exactly where this tornado touched down on the ground. But this is the severe cell that's rolling through. You can see next up, we could see this extended into parts of Smyrna. So right now, Smyrna is not under the tornado warning, but it is possible because the cell is tracking to the northeast that Smyrna will be next. Same thing for Collins Beach, Port Penn. If you live in any of these neighborhoods, again, you want to make sure you turn up your TV so you can still hear us, but you want to move away from any windows so you can make sure you are staying safe. Make sure you have your safe plan ready to go. We're going to click this now and show you the radar currently and see exactly where this severe storm is heading. So you can see outside of Kenton and Cheswold that next it's the potential for Brentford and also Smyrna, maybe even Dexter Corners. This is where some of the heaviest rain bands are moving right now, and then potentially where we could see another severe storm developing. So we already have one radar indicated tornado, and that occurred for us just outside of Dover, about 14 miles west of Dover near Goldsboro. It's moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. This happened at 3:20. This tornado warning for the northwestern portions of Kent County is going to be staying in effect until 3:45. So we have another couple of minutes, at least 8 minutes here, but it's possible that we could see this get extended to include the northern parts of Delaware. So let's put this in motion so we can actually see how it's tracking. It says to the northeast, but we want to put this in motion for you so we can see where the heaviest rain is going to be and the potential for the next thunderstorm. So if we just put this in motion, we'll back it up and we'll show you exactly how it's tracking. So you can see it's tracking to the northeast. These cells are moving quickly. So our next area that could be dealing with, okay, now we're seeing a little clearer, maybe the hook echo of what went through. There you can see, if you keep your eye on Hartley, you can see even possibly where we saw a little rotation there, and then you can kind of make out how it starts to track to the northeast. If you just focus on Hartley, you can see it there. Now, as we look at Smyrna, as we look at Middletown, these are going to be strong, severe cells that are going to continue to track to the northeast. So you still want to be alert. If you're closer to Middletown, Newark, Wilmington, Delaware City, Kirkwood, we have not seen the tornado warning extend there just yet, but it is possible here. As you can see, look at right over Smyrna. It's possible, again, this is a really severe storm cell here, that we could see that tornado warning become extended. So let's zoom into Smyrna. I want to show you how fast this rain is coming down and how intense this system is becoming. So there's just a severe thunderstorm warning right over Smyrna. That's going to stay in effect until 4 p.m. If I take off the radar, we can also show you where, okay, so this is as far as the tornado warning extends. So you can see it stops closer to Kenton. 7 Hickories also included in that tornado warning. We'll click back on the radar for you, and then we'll press pause. So we give you the right now radar, and we're looking at Smyrna, Big Oaks Corner, Brentford, Green Spring, just to the south of Blackbird. We are seeing severe thunderstorms with this system here, and we've already seen a radar indicated tornado that was on the ground just outside of Dover. So again, this tornado warning here is going to be staying in effect until 3:45 p.m. If you live anywhere in this area highlighted here by Dover, and also in addition to that, if you're closer to Smyrna, if you're closer to Middletown, if you're near Thorntown, you want to be on alert. You want to be weather aware. You want to start having your game plan together here because these are severe storms that are going to be continuously rolling through, especially Kent County here. It looks like we potentially, let's see, are seeing more of these severe thunderstorms issued. A lot of times we see the severe thunderstorms warnings issued before we see the tornado warning. So again, this is a breaking weather situation. The question is also what to do during a tornado. Here's what you need to do once we issue these tornado warnings, which we definitely have one in the central portions of Delaware, specifically Kent County, just outside of Dover, where we've already seen a tornado, radar indicated tornado on the ground. That means you still need to act now. You still need to be seeking shelter in these particular areas. So again, can't emphasize this enough. What you need to do is start moving away from windows. Our entire area is under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock.
Brittney, it's Jackie London here in the studio. Now, we had this first alert issued. We knew that the severe weather would happen right around this time, which is why we issued this first alert. We saw the rain come this morning, but we know our meteorologists were saying that the winds were really going to start to pick up this afternoon. And when we look at that radar and see the reds and the yellows, this is really when it's popping, as we said it would be.
Absolutely. And so what we're doing now is anywhere that we have this thunderstorm warning, or I should say tornado warning, this is the most important warning we have. That means you need to seek cover. And we're also watching, because we have the tornado watch that's going to stay in effect until 7 o'clock. We have these severe thunderstorm warnings that have now been issued for the northern parts of Delaware, including Wilmington, including Middletown. And that's where some of the most severe storms are now heading. I'm still focusing here on Smyrna because this is just to the north of where the tornado warning has been issued. But you're noticing severe weather is rolling through Smyrna right now at this time. Same thing for Dexter's Corner. If we widen out the picture, we show you that there is a lot more severe weather in store for us, especially outside of our viewing area down towards Easton, Drum Point here. But you can see those cells are firing up and they're heading towards the northeast. So they're just transitioning right into the central portions here of Delaware, specifically right outside of Dover. So what we've been saying and what we want to communicate is the fact that we have already seen a radar indicated tornado just outside of Dover. It's about 14 miles west of Dover. So if we can maybe make that map so everyone is on the same page here. A tornado-producing storm was located near Goldsboro, or 14 miles west of Dover, moving at 40 miles per hour. Flying debris is definitely a possibility with this tornado. You want to make sure you have a safety plan. Maybe you have to call someone that's traveling in that area. Maybe that's their way that they go home, is closer to Dover, Goldsboro. There's still severe weather that is happening here. And now it looks mainly like it's transitioning closer to the north of Dover, closer to Smyrna, closer to Kenton. And so that's going to be our next focus. Although right now the National Weather Service has only issued a tornado warning, which is set to expire in about 2 minutes. We are going to watch to see if this cell has maintained enough strength to continue to produce tornadoes to the north of Dover, specifically closer to Smyrna here. So as we widen out the picture, we want to show you it's not just Delaware that we are dealing with. It's also up towards parts of East Goshen, Philadelphia, Westchester, all seeing these very severe thunderstorms. We'll take you into parts of Norristown here, Hatfield, Pottstown, all seeing severe storms. These are all capable of potentially producing a tornado, which is why we are under a tornado watch.
Brittney, let me just interrupt for a second and just remind our viewers about our NBC10 app, because now is the best time to have that app so you can be listening to you and tracking it specifically to where you are, so you can see where those heavy bands are and you can see where the warning and watch is, right?
Absolutely. That is a fantastic idea. Or at this point, if you're in the central parts of Delaware, if you are closer to, like we said, Dover, Kenton, Seamytown, Chestnut Grove, Bethesda, Hartley, you want to turn your TV up. You want to go to the lowest level in your home. You want to make sure you are away from windows. You want to check on your loved ones in the area that could be driving, because we are still dealing with these severe storms.
And so power up your devices.
Power up your devices. That is a good idea as well. But we can't emphasize enough what you're going to be hearing today is that anywhere between a tornado watch, severe thunderstorm warning, and a tornado warning. Tornado warning, of course, being the most severe, which means on radar we can see a tornado oftentimes, and that means it's time to seek shelter immediately. But even we have a tornado watch for the entire area, so all of our neighborhoods are going to be affected here. With the exception of the Lehigh Valley, they are not under that tornado watch. And so that basically means it's time for you to get your specific game plan together until 7 p.m. when this all expires. But take a look at this severe line of storms here that's fired up through Bethlehem, Richland, just outside of Philadelphia. You see all of these thunderstorms. It's just outside of Westchester as well, Wilmington, just outside of Salem here. These are all severe storms that we are now tracking. And specifically, that thunderstorm warning has now expired over Dover. But if we zoom in, we can show you now that we still have a severe thunderstorm warning that's going to be over Smyrna. So we're watching this still closely, because it is possible that specifically in this area right around Smyrna, we could see another tornado warning issued. So again, this is going to be a very active day. When we turn on the velocity here, when you start to see the red and you start to see the green, what we're basically looking for is rotation here. So when you see them coupled together closely, red means it's going away from the radar, green means towards. And so when you see them coupled together, that means it's a potential that we've seen rotation. We also look for a hook echo. So those are the two things we're looking for when we're trying to determine if we've seen a tornado or not. But specifically with the one we were talking about right around 3:20, a tornado producing storm was located near Goldsboro. We were able to see it on our radar, and that's just outside of Dover. It was moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. Right now, everything has weakened a little bit, so we are not still seeing a tornado warning at this time. We are just having severe thunderstorm warnings, but we're going to make sure we investigate what happened just outside of Dover, because radar indicated that there was a tornado that was on the ground right around 3:20. So we'll have more details on this breaking news situation. Right now, the tornado warning has now expired specifically for the one area that we were tracking. And now, right now, we're just seeing more of a tornado watch for the entire area, severe thunderstorm watch warnings as well. And so we will be watching to see if we again see a tornado warning pop up and the potential for tornadoes. But the big emphasis for literally almost our entire viewing area, with the exception of Lehigh Valley, is we are under this tornado watch. And so you want to make sure you are staying alert. There's the area for the rest of this evening. Right now, 3:47, but this tornado watch goes until 7 p.m. So as we can see, this entire area here highlighted in yellow, that is the tornado watch until 7 o'clock. We have darker areas and darker yellow, and that is going to be your severe thunderstorm warnings. Those will stay in effect until 4:30, and that is affecting just outside of Bethlehem. That's just to the north of Philadelphia. And this is also, it looks like we might have another one developing here from that same cell that I was saying that's tracking to the northeast at around 40 miles per hour. So there you can see it. It just came online. And so we have a new tornado warning until 4:15 p.m. So this is going to be anyone in this area. Let's take a look. If you're closer to Collins Beach, if you're near Dutch Neck Crossroads, if you are near Stowe Creek, Bayside, Bridgeton, north of Seabreeze. You are all now under a tornado warning. Dutch Neck Crossroads, Woodland Beach, Collins Beach, Bayside, Stowe Creek. This means we are now watching to see if another tornado is going to be strong enough to develop in these areas. So again, tornado warning has now been established, a new tornado warning until 4:15. And it's for all the areas that are now highlighted here in magenta. So Stowe Creek, Bridgeton, Seabreeze, Lower Alloways Creek. This is just outside of Smyrna. This is just outside of Kent County here. You can see part of this near Dutch Neck Crossroads, Woodland Beach, Collins Beach, Brick Store, Chambersville. So we are watching this cell that has now developed. We had one that was the radar indicated tornado that hit the ground closer to Dover, about 14 miles. And now we're watching all of these transition to the northeast. So we are tracking the severity of these storm cells now moving. So one that we're going to be watching closely. This is probably why they issued at the National Weather Service an additional tornado warning. It's the one that is now moving just outside of Collins Beach. So we are going to turn the velocity on that and see if we can see any coupling here, just to see if we're seeing any radar indicated rotation. So that's what we look for anytime we talk about velocity. A lot of times people don't know what we're saying. We're basically looking for the coupling of the red and the green. So when they're close together, that means the radar is tracking moving away and also towards. And so when you see it together, the red and the green combined, that means we're getting a little bit of rotation here. So that looks like that just went away. But if we widen out the picture again, now we're going to switch you back over to what that looks like on radar here. So let's zoom back out.
And Brittany, we see how quickly these storms are popping up. So if people are watching, this is an indication they can't relax or let their guard down if the strong winds and rain have subsided in their area, because this line is long and more storms are behind it. This watch extending until 7 o'clock tonight. 2 hours ago, I know you were saying this was down in D.C. and it was headed this way, and right on target with that exact timing. We're seeing it, and there's much more to come.
That's right. We started talking about this earlier in the morning with Crystal Klein, Bill Henley, and then we started cutting into programming at 3 o'clock just to give everyone a heads up that there is a tornado watch that will stay in effect most of the area until 7 o'clock. And now that's exactly what we're seeing again. Another tornado warning has developed, a second tornado warning, and it will be staying in effect until 4:15. We want to switch over and see if we can show you our live camera network here. We'll get some cameras going, and producers as well, if we can get any type of live pictures coming in from any parts of Delaware at this time. You can see on the lower left hand of your screen, this is our camera out of Wilmington, just basically showing a raindrop there. It doesn't really paint the picture of the severity of what we're dealing with at this time, but we have for most of the area, again, tornado watch. And then if we zoom you in here, we want to show you that in the last, I would say 10 minutes live on air, we showed you that a new tornado warning has now popped up for some of these severe storms that are moving through the region. So if we put this in motion for you, the last hour, you can see how fast this system is moving here, how fast these cells are moving. It started off near just to the west of Dover with a radar confirmed tornado. And now we're starting to see more of these severe cells developing here, potentially crossing over now into South Jersey here. So these are the areas that are under the tornado warning. We want to zoom in and get you street level and just start naming off all the areas and all the neighborhoods that are of concern. And that includes Pine Island here, Garrison Corner, Davis Mill, Stowe Creek, Shepherd Mill, Bayside, Shiloh, Bowentown. If you are hearing your neighborhood, Mickles Mill, Cobb's Mill, Aldine, you are all under a tornado warning at least until 4:15.
Brittany, can you remind us the difference between a tornado warning and a tornado watch so people know what you're talking about?
Absolutely. So with a tornado watch, it means we are watching to see if the conditions are right for a tornado to happen. But once we get all the way elevated to a warning, that means you need to make a plan. So here I actually have something that shows you exactly what we're talking about. When we have a tornado threat like today, parts of our area under a watch. That means tornadoes are possible. You need to know your action plan. You need to stay tuned to the TV and to your cell phone. You need to make sure you're charging everything. But once we hit a warning, that means a tornado has been spotted, especially on radar, and you need to act now and you need to seek shelter. And so you see the difference. The watch is in the yellow and the warning is going to be in the hot pink. And so I think we're going to send it over to Jacqueline right now. You have a damage report for us?
We do. We've been trying to keep an eye on any damage reports, and we are hearing that southbound Route 202 north, all of those southbound lanes are closed because of a downed tree there. This is north of Route 926. This is in Chester County again. To tell you that location, southbound Route 202 north of Route 926, closed southbound because of a downed tree there. And we knew this was going to happen. When we talk about these strong winds, what goes along with that, power lines down, trees down, and a large enough tree to block that road so no traffic is moving in that direction. Avoid that area if you can. And of course, only if you can safely record any pictures at all, you can always send it to the See It, Share It section of the NBC10 app. But we cannot emphasize enough that only to do it safely. Stay away from windows. Do not be outside if you don't have to be at all. But you can just see from that radar are the reds and the yellows and how quickly this is moving, Brittany, 40 miles per hour.
Looks like we have another tornado warning that is popping up for parts of the region as well. Let's get a closer look at exactly where that is. 3:53, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Lansdale, 17 miles north of Philadelphia, moving at 50 miles per hour. So this is a second tornado warning that has now developed for it. This is closer to just to the north of Ambler. You are under this next tornado warning. The specific neighborhoods, because we are about neighborhood weather, just to go over it. Montgomeryville, you are under this tornado warning. New Britain, you're under this tornado warning. Doylestown, Buckingham, Carversville, Danborough. This is all staying in effect until 4:30. Again, Bridgepoint, Doylestown, Danborough, Solebury, just to the north here of Bridge Valley, Forest Grove. Because this is a tornado warning and not a watch, it means it's time for you to move. You should have your safety plan ready, which should include moving away from windows, getting to the lowest point in your house, maybe your basement. You want to try and be very, very careful here. If you know anyone maybe that's just about home, you want to give them a call and say, you want to be very careful here. We have a tornado warning in effect until 4:30, specifically for all the areas that I just listed for you. And that, again, is going to include, just to go over it again, just in case you didn't hear your neighborhood, or just maybe you're just tuning in. We have a severe weather situation breaking right now. We have two different tornado warnings that will be staying in effect until 4:15 and 4:30. This one that I'm showing you right now near Gwinnett, Montgomeryville, Doylestown, Warrington, Buckingham, all these neighborhoods I'm listing, Raven Rock. You want to seek shelter. You want to move away from your windows. I'm going to widen out the picture. I need to check on this other tornado warning. There's multiple tornado warnings right now, if you're just joining us, across our region. We have one that's just crossing out of Kent County here. We have another one that's crossing over into Bridgeton, New Jersey, Lower Alloways Creek, all under this tornado warning for at least another 20 minutes. And then on top of that, if I widen out the picture here, we show you there's another one that has now developed. So you can see how severe this line of storms is going from Bethlehem down towards Philadelphia, down towards Wilmington, into just to the north of Dover. And we have already, by the way, had a radar confirmed tornado that already touched down at 3:20. So we want to head back over to Tracy and Jacqueline. It's important to remember this entire area until 7 o'clock. We're going to continue to see these tornado warnings popping up. We're under this tornado watch until 7 p.m.
Okay, Brittany. Right now we want to go to Tim Furlong on the phone right now. He was headed to Kent County where that tornado was down. Tim, what can you tell us?
Yeah, I'm actually in Wilmington right now heading that direction. It really, I mean, if you're in this Wilmington area, I can tell you, you know what happened. It monsooned all day, but then it really hit us hard about a half hour ago is when it really got bad. And that's when we started hearing the reports coming out of southern Newcastle County, Kent County, Smyrna, down through Dover. Of course, those are the areas that you remember over the summer were just devastated by tornadoes. School had its roof ripped off, so they know what it's like to go through this, and hopefully those people took shelter and heeded the warnings that were coming through. Again, I'm heading down that direction right now. Hard here in Wilmington. I'm on 95, going to get onto Delaware Route 1 by the Christiana Mall. It's still coming down pretty hard. I can guarantee that some of the spots that are flood prone, my Delaware people know what I'm talking about. Governor Prince Boulevard, those kind of areas in Wilmington, out toward Churchman's Road area. You know those low spots, guys, where it gets low. So stay away from those spots because you know it's going to be bad after all the rain we've had today. And again, those lower, flatter areas down in southern Newcastle County and Kent County, those are where we're having the concerns with the tornado possibility. So we're trying to be careful. I can tell you this. My sister lives in Chester County. She texted me saying she was out near Landenberg, and it was awful for a while. But then she sent me a picture of a rainbow, and the sun had come out. And I'm starting to see, even to my right as I'm headed south, which would be the west, I'm starting to see some peaks of sun and blue sky through some of the clouds. These clouds are just cooking through here. It's moving very quickly, and as I look out to the right, I can see some blue skies. So maybe that's a good sign of things to come here. But I also hear Brittany's warning, and I'm taking it seriously. I hope everybody at home is taking it seriously as well. Back to you guys.
And Tim, you've seen that weather change a lot as you're driving from Wilmington to Kent County.
Yeah, absolutely. It was coming down as hard as I've ever seen it rain for a little while, about a half hour ago. I mean, it's been a rainy day in general, but about a half hour ago, it was absolutely out of control. And then it started to lighten up a little bit. It's a finer rain, not the heavy drops. And it's still raining here. My wipers are on high as I'm on, 95 headed south. But as I said, I'm starting to see some peaks of brighter skies above the clouds and some even cracks of blue to the west. I'm not saying it's over because I don't think it is, but it definitely feels a little comforting to see that something better might be on the way because it got nasty here.
And they have dealt with a lot in Kent County. This is the last thing they need. Tim, we know you'll keep us updated as you get closer to Kent County and there where the tornado touched down. Tim, thank you. NBC 10 News at 4 starts right now.
NBC 10 News starts now.
We have watches, we have warnings, and we want you to be safe. Brittney Shipp has been monitoring it all, telling you exactly where the storm is headed. Brittney?
That's right. Most of our areas under a tornado watch, and what we've just seen is 2 different tornado warnings, which is the most severe warning that we have. And we want to go ahead and zoom you into both of them and show you which neighborhoods are going to be affected. So where you are seeing the magenta, that means we have a tornado warning that we are dealing with, which means a cell is capable of producing a tornado. So the areas that are affected by this include Pine Island, Garrison Corner, Stowe Creek, Maskill's Mill, Lower Alloways Creek, Cobb's Mill, Penton. That's our first tornado warning. That's going to be in effect until 4:15. If you live in any of those areas that I just named off, you want to make sure you are avoiding windows. You want to get to the lowest level of your home, basement. If you don't have a lower level, you can go into a bathroom, into your bathtub. As long as there's not a lot of windows in your bathroom, you can go to a closet. But you want to, again, find your safe space. So that is the first thing. That's our most pressing because it does expire at 4:15 here. So you can see how active a lot of these storms and these cells are within this particular tornado warning box here. Now I want to go ahead and zoom out, show you that there is not only severe thunderstorms throughout parts of Philadelphia, up at Darby, Haverford, Norristown. Look at these thunderstorm and lightning strikes here just outside of Prospectsville, Hatfield. I also want to show you that there is now a second tornado warning. This tornado warning is going to be in effect until 4:30. So let's query that and make sure nothing has changed there. And as you can see here, this tornado warning is in effect until 4:30. It's hard to see where the neighborhoods are underneath all the rain, but if I click off the radar for you, that's going to bring up the radar. So what I want to do, what I think is most important, is making sure that you know your neighborhood. If you hear your name called, you want to make sure you have your action plan because you are now under a tornado warning. So that includes Gwinnett, Brittany Farms, Warrington, Doylestown, Buckingham. These are all the areas here. We'll zoom in closer. We're also talking about 202. If you know anyone that takes that way near Montgomeryville to get home or is running errands in this particular area, Tradesville, Edison, Danborough, Cottageville, Buckingham, Raven Rock, you are all under Tinicum. You are all under a tornado warning for another almost 30 minutes. You want to make sure you are seeking shelter. Maybe turn the TV up loud so you can still hear and you can move away from any windows. Once we start to get to warnings, which is the bright pink here, both over Doylestown, Buckingham, Lambertville, and then one other one that's now just near Salem and Cumberland County, Stowe Creek specifically here. You want to be very careful. Pine Island, Bayside, Shepherd's Mill. So widen out the picture. We show you the two areas that are in pink. Those are the two areas that we could potentially be seeing a tornado warning. And then the areas that are highlighted here in the yellow, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. So all of these areas are going to be of concern, but our main areas, and I'll zoom back in now that we've showed you the neighborhoods, I want to turn on the radar. And I want to show you where some of the heaviest rain is. Let's switch over to our sweeping radar here. And again, show you where we are most concerned. And it looks like some of the most severe weather is moving through Pine Island. These cells are also moving quickly. They're moving. Our last report was at 50 miles per hour to the northeast, especially over Bucks, the one that we mentioned over Bucks County. Those cells are moving at around 50 miles per hour. So you don't want to get caught off guard here by any of these systems. And that's why we have the tornado warnings that we're trying to hit home, explain all of the neighborhoods that are affected by this warning, and then show you how quickly we'll put it in play. I'll change this to the last 15 minutes and start to loop it. So we widen out the picture again. You can see where this is heading now. Again, it is heading to the northeast, but all the areas that are under the tornado warning are of most concern for us. So because this is tracking to the northeast, I'm going to go ahead and focus mainly on our northeast neighborhoods. I don't think some of the ones to the south of this warning is as important right now because everything's tracking to the northeast. And again, we could see this become extended into Piles Grove, Upper Pittsgrove, Alloway, not under the tornado warning right now, but because the cell is moving so fast, it is possible here just outside of Stowe Creek. That's where we're seeing some of the most severe weather right now. Jericho, Mickles Mill, Woodmere, Quinton, Alloway, Cobbs Mill, all under this the tornado warning, which continues to shift depending on where the cells are going. Now, we mentioned that they're tracking to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. So if you live anywhere even to the northeast of the neighborhoods that we have now been naming, included Alloway and Piles Grove, you want to make sure you have your safety plan ready to go because this is a very active weather situation. So that is our first tornado warning that is set to expire in about 9 minutes. We have a second one on our hands here that we want to make sure we're going over, making sure everyone is prepared here. It looks like some of the most severe weather is now coming out of Warrington, tracking again to the northeast. So next up should be Doylestown, Danborough, Cottageville, all under this tornado warning. We're going to take off the radar so we can see. Okay, the good news is that latest tornado warning that was near Bucks County is now expired. The one that we're going to be focusing on, we'll take it back down here. We'll go back down to South Jersey because this is still where we're focused. And this is a tornado warning, which will stay in effect until 4:15. So the neighborhoods included in this are Bayside, Pine Island, Garrison Corner, Stowe Creek, Othello, Shiloh. If you live in this area, you want to be seeking shelter. Same thing for Jericho, Mickles Mill, Cohansey. And then we're going to go ahead and include Piles Grove, Aldine, Upper Pittsgrove, because once we turn this back on, we know that this is tracking to the northeast. And so with that, we know that we could see some of the severe weather starting to transition. You can see it. Okay, let's put it back in place because I want to show you how fast this is moving. So you see right here that we are dealing with the severe weather right over Mickles Mill, Stowe Creek, Now we have these severe thunderstorms that are closer here to Alloway. And so we're watching this. We could see, again, the National Weather Service extending the tornado watch to include more neighborhoods. So if you live anywhere in this area, if you're close, you want to start getting your game plan together. Most of the region is under a tornado watch. So all of South Jersey is included in that. We'll turn that on for you so you can see what that looks like. There you go. The yellow shows us that basically almost our entire area needs to be concerned tonight, needs to have a game plan for at least the next 3 hours. This tornado watch stays into effect until 7 p.m. On top of that tornado watch, then we have these severe thunderstorm warnings that have been affecting a lot of our neighborhoods to the north of Philadelphia. If we turn off the sweeping radar, we'll show you where that is. So everywhere in this darker yellow, that's under a severe thunderstorm warning. It's possible that we can go from that severe thunderstorm warning into a tornado warning. So any of these areas here, especially highlighted in the darker yellow, just outside of Allentown, down towards Buckingham, down towards Abington, could see a tornado warning. So you want to be prepared because this is where some of our most active storms are. Now, once we fly you down towards our most active situation, that's going to be closer to Lower Alloways Creek, just outside of Bridgeton, Stowe Creek, Bayside, all under now this tornado warning. This is going to last for at least another 6 minutes, but we could see this being extended a little bit further north here just due to where these storms are tracking. So we have our radar here. Let's put it in on pause so we can give you the most up-to-date information. And you can see some of the most powerful system. Our cell is just outside of Mickles Mill and also near Alloway. So this is why we have the tornado warning that stays in effect until 4:15. At 3:59, when we originally saw this issued, a severe storm was capable of producing a tornado located over Newport Meadows, or 10 miles west of Bridgeton. And this was moving at 35 miles per hour. So we had radar indicated rotation here. And the concern is always, of course, flying debris, dangerous to those without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Roofs, windows, vehicles. You just want to make sure you have your safety plan ready to go. We have another couple of hours of this system moving through, where we are basically just trying to tell you exactly where the next tornado is. But we still have these severe thunderstorm warnings that are affecting a lot of our neighborhoods here near Salem and Cumberland counties. So if you live in these particular counties, but more specifically in our neighborhoods, including Pine Island, Stowe Creek, Bayside, Maskell's Mill, Paradise Lakes, Othello, you are all under a tornado warning until 4:15. So we have about 4 more minutes left. We're watching this closely for you. And we're going to send it over to the anchors right now. But again, we have been watching this since this morning. We issued a first alert. We will be under that first alert at least until 7 o'clock tonight. The tornado watch stays into effect until 7 p.m. Tracy and Jacqueline, I know we had Tim Furlong as well watching the scene.
We did, and we want to remind people what to do in a situation like this when you look at the radar, and we know how fast this storm is moving. The National Weather Service has detailed a list of what to do if a tornado strikes. We're going to take you through that first. If you're inside your home, go to the basement, go to a safe room, go to any interior room away from windows. So important to stay far away from any glass. If you were at work, follow your tornado drill and get to those designated tornado shelters as soon as possible. Also, stay away from windows, as we said. Don't go into large open air rooms like gyms, like cafeterias. If you are outside, seek shelter inside immediately. You do not want to be outside in a situation like this. Sheds and storage facilities are definitely not safe. They are weak in structure. Also, being inside a vehicle is not safe. The best thing to do is to drive to the closest shelter. These rains can be driving and pounding. We heard Tim Furlong, who was driving from Wilmington to Kent County. He said he had never seen a downpour of rain like this. It was like a monsoon nonstop. If you cannot get to a safe interior location, if you happen to be inside a vehicle, get down inside your car, cover your head, or abandon that vehicle and seek shelter in a low-lying area such as a ditch or ravine.
We have a number of cameras positioned around the area where you can see. We've been hearing from people on Twitter and Facebook about how ominous the skies look. There's one picture. Our cameras are pointing south and west, so toward Chester County, also toward Delaware. And as we take a look at this picture, and you can see raindrops on the lens, we should also tell you, Brittney made a really clear point that if you are in one of those warning areas, and she's been doing a great job saying exactly what towns, so if you live in those towns, you need to take action immediately. If, however, you are in some of the places where really it's all of us, and look at that blue sky. Tim Furlong talked about seeing a little blue sky to the west of us. If you are anywhere, really be prepared to take action, right? So make sure you charge up your devices as well, because PECO has put out, be careful, expect power outages. They're telling you how to report a power outage. And if you want to, Brittney's been saying, turn up your television if you're in an area that's a warning so that you can hear the television. Maybe you're watching on our free NBC10 app. That's a really good way to stay informed, but you want to make sure that you keep all your devices charged. And you can see that. You can see the line. Look how definitive that line is.
Mm-hmm. And we are just less than a minute from that one tornado warning expiring that Brittney was referring to. That one set to expire at 4:15 in South Jersey, involving Bayside, Pine Island, Stowe Creek, Shiloh. She was telling people to seek shelter in those areas. Of course, Brittney, we know that these warnings can be extended. As we've seen earlier, we had that one tornado warning until 4:15 in South Jersey. And then you were talking about another tornado warning until 4:30. So
yes,
it's approaching 4:15 right now.
It's just an incredibly active situation for us. And so we are just, giving you the information as soon as we get it in. And even our cameras started off not looking too bad, but now you can really see the skies growing gray and the rain coming down. And the big picture, just so everyone who isn't in this specific tornado warnings are clear, this entire area, with the exception of the Lehigh Valley, is under a tornado watch. That is the yellow that you're seeing. So let me query this and we'll show you. That stays into effect until 7 p.m. So that's the thing to start with.
Conditions are possible.
Conditions are possible with the tornado watch. But when you start to hear us say a tornado warning and we are calling out your neighborhood, that means it's time to make an action plan right now. It's time to move. It's time to seek shelter. Get away from your windows. Make sure everyone is safe in your house. Make sure you're calling your loved ones if they're outside of the house and driving around. So we did mention that other tornado warning that was closer to the borderline of Salem and Cumberland counties. That has now expired. That expired at 4:15. We did have another one that was closer to Doylestown. That has now expired. So right now what we're basically left with is a tornado watch over the entire area, all in this yellow area. But you can see how severe this line of storms is. But the other thing we're concerned about is if we take a closer look just outside of the central part of Delaware, just outside of Kent County, we have another potentially severe storm that's going to be rolling in. So this severe line, you can see it's technically it's outside of Delaware right now, but it's going right over Goldsboro. And so we could see another tornado warning issued. Now, the question is, what about Philly? So if we put the radar in place specifically over Philly, we do not have a severe thunderstorm warning. We just have heavy downpours over Philadelphia. And then just to the north here of Kensington, Cedar Grove, Fern Rock, that's where you're starting to see the heavier rainfall amounts. But we are not tracking a severe thunderstorm warning just yet over Philadelphia. But look at these rainfall rates. Just even on a normal day, if you were caught underneath a cell like this would decrease your visibility. This is a lot of rain coming down in a short amount of time, which the next concern for us is probably going to be flood reports. So you want to be very careful. You do not want to drive through any flooded roadways. You want to make sure you're turning around. So, Tracy, we're going to send it back to you, but we are tracking this situation carefully. We are watching for this other area that's highlighted in the darker yellow. That's a severe thunderstorm warning box. West Warminster, Bedminster, Easton, all under this severe thunderstorm warning box, which that alone is capable of producing wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So we can't emphasize enough. We are watching, because we are under the tornado watch, for another tornado warning to develop.
And this is very active, as you said. This all began, the first indication that we had that some of these would pop up was a radar indicated tornado 14 miles west of Dover. NBC10's Tim Furlong is on his way to Dover Tim, where are you and what can you see from where you are? What are the conditions like?
Yeah, I'm crawling along I-95. I mean, traffic is brutal as you're heading south, toward Churchman's Crossing by the Christiana Mall, which makes sense to holiday shopping. I see some Delta trucks screaming by me now, so maybe there's an incident up ahead. But it is raining again. I jinxed myself, and I knew I would do it. I said I could see cracks of blue earlier. The sky was lightening up a little bit, and as I said that, I knew I shouldn't say it because then just a few minutes later, the rain is now coming down hard again. It's gotten a lot darker once again, and it's darker. If I look at my mirrors looking back to the north toward Wilmington, it's a little lighter. If I look to the south toward, Dover, Smyrna, southern Newcastle County, those areas, it gets a little darker. And those are the areas that we're concerned about. I hear Brittney mentioning all the names of these towns and villages and areas in our viewing area, and I don't want to hear any of them on her list. And I certainly don't want to hear my areas on her list and the areas where I'm headed to in Kent County. Dover police tell me the rain came down hard, but it wasn't too bad, and it actually calmed down quite nicely. But again, that was a few minutes ago they told me that, and now I'm hearing from Brittney, and I'm driving, so I can't look at it myself, but that radar is not looking too good moving forward. And so, that's the thing. Wherever you are, you have to take the precautions. And I can also tell you right now, I just mentioned Delta trucks screaming by me. Churchman's Crossing, as you're getting off the exit there, the whole right side, this is Churchman's Marsh, which, you hear marsh, it's a bad sign already. The road is now a marsh as well. The side of the road, the whole right side shoulder is under it looks like about 8 or 9 inches of water. And I see some Del employees out there. God bless these guys. They're cleaning out the storm drains right now to get the water off the roadway and back down into the marsh. And so, so wherever you are, just promise me this. You're going to be very patient. You're going to be very calm. You're going to do the right thing. Brittney's our rock star. I hear her talking about what you're supposed to do. And if I were at my house right now, those are all the things I'd be doing. And those are the things that I'm going to call my family up in North Wilmington. They're all home now. I'm going to tell them to do the same thing as well. So wherever you are, be careful. Again, the rain is now coming down even harder as I'm picking up speed again. So be very careful, and we'll keep you posted from Delaware. Back to you guys.
Tim, thank you. And if people are watching and they don't see their town mentioned and they don't see their town visible on radar, just because they're not under a tornado warning now, as Brittney said, doesn't mean they won't be when you take into account just how fast these storms are moving. It can go from a severe thunderstorm warning to a tornado warning in no time, Brittney.
That's absolutely right. And so this is what we've been watching for you, is the fact that since we're under this watch until 7 p.m., at any given moment, we could see a tornado warning. So you want to start thinking, because we are already in the watch, what your game plan is going to be. Where's your safe space? How are you going to stay weather aware until 7 o'clock? Take a look at the storm reports. They are widespread. They go from the Lehigh Valley down towards Philadelphia, Wilmington, down towards Dover, down towards the shore. So not only are we dealing with strong wind speeds, but we're dealing with flooding reports here, and we've already had 2 different tornado warnings and even a radar indicated tornado just outside of Dover that was earlier, right around 3:20, so about an hour ago. So just to sum it all up for us, we have a tornado watch. All the light yellow that you see here, those are the areas that are under the watch until 7 p.m. It's basically everyone except for the Lehigh Valley. Then we have right here severe thunderstorm warnings that are going to be in effect to the north of Philadelphia. And although there are no warnings, take a look at how severe this cell looks just outside of Delaware. So we're definitely not done yet. We are going to keep watching this, as we already had potentially a radar indicated tornado near Goldsboro, just 14 miles west of Dover. So that's what originally started all this tracking. And these are moving to the northeast anywhere between 40 to up to 50 miles per hour. These are moving fast. So once we start tracking these, we're listing all of the neighborhoods that could potentially be next. And so we want to make sure that everyone is prepared here as we're going into the next couple of hours. So we have at least 2.5 more hours of this tornado watch. Coming up right after the break, we'll be tracking this. We'll let you know who's likely to see the next severe storms. We'll have all those details for you in just a bit. Count on it.